We're going to move to your favourite topic, the West Coast Eagles, Andrew, because we are, taking team-focused segments where we can, and we're going to talk about a team that is going to be a major player, more so in the draft, but also very active in the trade space. And they're an interesting... whenever there's a team that's that far behind the competition, they're always an interesting list case study because you think, how would I rebuild this side? Like, what do they need to do to improve? And to their credit, West Coast are trying very hard. So that they're at least not sitting on their hands. So there's been 3 trade requests to the Eagles over the last couple of days. Brandan Starcevich Deven Robertson and Tyler Young. We know that Campbell Chesser and Liam Ryan have also requested trades to leave. Their current picks are 1, 2, and what will likely become 18, 23, 24, 38. That's me adding in a couple of the compensation picks, which are not officially found in any draft order just yet, I don't think. But they've also been given a priority pick, which is likely to become about 23, but is currently pick 19. We're not sure if compo picks will be awarded after West Coast's. If they're band 2, are they after West Coast? Are they before West Coast? We don't have confirmation on that. I think we're likely to assume they probably come after. Let's start with the priority pick, because this is a very contentious topic for many. And West Coast have been awarded, if you want to call it that, been given a priority assistance package, which includes that pick 19, and it also includes 4 rookie list spots that West Coast have then said that they're likely to use for established players who cannot get, there might be VFL players like a Dev Robinson's example. Finley McRae, that's broken apparently since we started recording this stream. West Coast have met with him. But let's start with the idea that the AFL gave West Coast this assistance. I know my views, but I want to hear it from you guys.
Drews, you probably got the strongest opinion on this.
Let's hear it.
Sorry, I just tuned out there, to be honest.
What are your thoughts on the Eagles getting a priority pick?
Yeah, probably needed.
Oh, okay.
I've actually really not got much of an opinion on
Sorry,
this.
I thought you were going to be the opposite, because I was going to come in and say the same. I actually do think, as a supporter of a club that's also in this situation, has been in this situation, it's really, really difficult to get yourself out of these situations. And as much as everyone will throw the shade at you that you got there yourself, which you did, but every team that's been in that situation, I don't hear Richmond fans now apologising for them doing it. Back in the day, they got priority picks. Collingwood got priority picks. Hawthorn got priority picks.
I'm just glad it wasn't a top 10, because isn't that what Gold Coast got when they got Rowan Anderson?
They got pick 2.
Yeah. So when it's that, I feel like it's a bit OP. But yeah, pick 19 in a draft like this, it seems fair.
As a side note, that pick 19 is likely to be traded to a club that has a bid. So in reality, that's probably just going to get absorbed. What it does help is West Coast move up the draft order. But it actually doesn't necessarily
Do you have to trade it?
No, we don't.
So we did. North Melbourne got given 2 end of first rounders that we had to trade. So that differs a little bit.
Didn't you have 3 all up though? Because wasn't it Tucker, Logue, and Stevens and Fisher?
I thought we got Fisher and Stevens.
But what about Logan Tucker? I thought they were similar.
Maybe we got it 2 years in a row.
Yeah, you might have done. So for clarity, West Coast only has one of those picks, and it doesn't necessarily have to be traded. I do think what's likely happened is West Coast have been in constant conversation with the AFL about what they're going to do with it. And the previous assumption was that it would go for Starcevich. I don't think that's likely to be true anymore based on the talk around his concussion stuff. But I think what it will happen, I think West Coast have, in fact, Don Pike did say it. He speculated about potentially trading it up with Hawthorn's pick to get back into the top 10. So we know that West Coast do have an ambition to trade up with one of these clubs. We know that there will be a few clubs trading down. Gold Coast would be a natural target because of their academy situation, although it's messy with the Petrarca situation there. Essendon have been talked about trading up rather. That probably doesn't apply here, but Carlton also have their pick, which needs to be traded, and Sydney have a pick if they don't get Kerner.
Yeah, I was going to say, so the picks that are majorly on the table here, Gold Coast's pick 6, but that's probably going to get moved around for Petrarca.
You think so?
Somebody like that.
But they'll get one from St Kilda as well.
One for, pick 7, of course. So the 6 and 7, likely to move. 9 and 10.
Yeah.
They are almost guaranteed to move. And then Gold Coast's pick 14
Yeah.
Probably for points.
Yeah, it could be packaged in a bigger deal as well with more points.
So give us a theoretic. We've kind of gone over like whether they should have got a compensation pick. Like it's kind of neither here nor there. What is their draft hand probably going to look like in your opinion?
Well, if we assume that 18, which is Hawthorn's pick after that, and I'm adding in a compo pick there. Let's say it's 18 and 23.
So because I've got 16.
Yeah, so 18 gets pushed back because of a Draper and so not Draper. TDK's picking's in there. So it's Oscar Allen hasn't been added though. No. So maybe it's 17. We'll call it 17. And to be fair, where it actually ends up does matter from a points point of view. But yes. I would imagine that 2 to 3 of those picks get packaged up and we would target Gold Coast pick there. And I also think West Coast should explore trading 1 or 2 down to get 2 picks from Essendon, which would then generate 4 picks in the top 12. That's probably my ideal scenario.
What does that look like?
Let's say they do a deal with Gold Coast and they do a deal with Essendon, which is hypothetical and Essendon may not be interested in that. But what that would look like is, let's call it pick 2. Let's say we traded Dersma to Essendon.
And pick 2 goes over here.
Yeah. We've got pick 2, we've got 5, we've got 6, and we've got potentially pick, what's Gold Coast now? It's 6, let's call it 8.
Yep.
Well, it gets messy because I don't know which pick we'll get. Maybe it could be 9.
Yep. So 2, 5, 6, and 9.
Yeah, that's roughly
1, 2,
18, 23, 24, 38.
I feel like that's massively favourable for you guys.
So I guess to break it down into 2 things. Obviously, the trading up to Gold Coast is probably a no-brainer, but the trade down with Essendon gets us 5 and 6, and we would not get Willem Dersma in that scenario.
But for reference, 2, 5, 6, and 9, like particularly 6 and 9, 5, 6, and 9 are going to get pushed back slightly as well when you throw in.
That's true. Yeah.
So that it'll sit a little bit back from that, but
yeah.
What would you like to see? So that's your ideal scenario, and who would you like to take?
That's a tough one. At pick 2, you're going to assume that Dersma's off the table, and then you'd be looking at guys like potentially Cooper Duff-Tyler, which I think becomes a little bit more attractive. He's a player that I've moved away from, but if we have 4 picks in the 9, then that changes the equation for me.
I would say that he's the guarantee if you had 4 picks in the...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to, wouldn't you?
I think unless West Coast has a real soft spot for Sullivan Roby, which the reason I go there is because he's the only player
you
there.
You reckon Richmond will take him in between?
I do think Richmond would.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, as it currently sits.
I think so too.
Yeah, so you'd have to go CDT or those are the 2 players that you'd need to take at pick 2.
I think, yeah.
Whereas Dyson Sharp, you can probably get at 5 if you wanted him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, let's go CDT or Roby. And then depending on who we went that first pick, like if we get Roby, then you don't go Sharp probably. So 5, 6, and 9, I'd be looking at like...
I don't know. I actually wouldn't agree that Roby and Sharp are like...
No, they're not like for like.
Absolute like for like.
Yeah, they're not like for like. You're right. Maybe we could go both. But then I think you're looking at... I reckon one of these could be a tall. You could say Xavier Taylor.
You could.
Because when you have 4 picks, suddenly then your list... needs become a little bit more like you can target both. You can go best available and needs, if that makes sense.
I would have said though that if you took Dyson Sharp and you were going to take a tall, you'd probably take one of those SA boys.
I was thinking Schubert.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a pressing need for a key position forward, but Mitch Marsh would be another contender I would have thought. Marshall, Schubert. Would you agree? Is there anyone else you'd throw into that mix?
Yes. I mean, I would say it's probably a little bit too high, but I reckon Threadgold is like starting to come pretty high. Like I reckon if somebody's really hot on him, I could see him being that guy that comes into the top 15, top 10 calculations. The only thing is, you mentioned Xavier Taylor. Like I feel like Xavier Taylor, it's very obvious to see what he's going to be at AFL level. Quite clear role. That offensive sort of, he's locked down, but he's also an offensive defender. And he just plays that week in, week out really well, super consistent. We're both of Schubert and Marsh if you went down that road, which I don't think the Eagles would take Marsh.
Yeah, I think Schubert seems more like a West Coast pick than Marsh.
Yeah. You've got a lot of those like medium tall types, don't you? Like Hutchinson and...
Yeah, it depends how we play Hutchinson, but yeah, I suppose so.
Even sort of... Not the same player, but like Bo Allen is kind of a little bit like that athletic sort of...
Yeah. I'd imagine he doesn't play forward though.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't think Marsh is necessarily a forward.
Okay.
I see Marsh as potentially having a Dan Curtin-esque introduction. He's a little bit shorter, but he's like that. He's a running tall.
Yeah. Okay.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Schubert is more of a like genuine key position height, but he's also a little bit of a utility as well. So like what I'm saying is there with the Xavier Taylor one, Xavier Taylor, it's like, yep, plug and play. Like we know what he's going to be. The other two, it's a bit like they're ambiguous tools.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So interesting one. But I could see if you went for a Dyson Sharp, I could see you pairing the SA boys. I think that would be clear.
Yeah. I'll throw two other names in.
Yep.
And I know that probably gives us like 5 players, but we'll go with these two. Josh Lindsay, I think West Coast would love.
Yep.
And then I also think Lockie Doverston is a great fit for West Coast. And 9 is probably a little bit earlier than people were expecting, but there's still a little bit to play out between now and the draft. And I don't think he'd be the wildest bolter to pick 9.
Not the wildest. I feel like that would be unlikely for you. Like if you guys were able to get, as much as you could speculate a little bit, I don't think West Coast can play like they're not using house money as much as say Richmond were last year. You know what I mean? To go for a real reach.
Do you think that's a big reach though?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's not. It's not too much of a reach. He's probably around 10 to 15.
Yeah. I like the Thread Gold call, by the way, because I think we need him. We need a defender of that quality more than we need a forward of similar quality. In terms of our list position. So if you think the talent is even, it'd probably go.
He just looks like an absolute Rolls Royce of a defender. You know, when you just see those guys and they just look so when they're intercept marking, like they just look so sure. They can play one-on-one, and then what he provides offensively, I think, is awesome. So. Yeah, he's coming, but I'm sure clubs will be all over him.
I just want to roll through some comments here. We got a dono from Lewis. You sort of answered this, but should West Coast trade picks 1 and 2 for late first, second, and future picks? Supposedly next year's draft is much stronger, and West Coast need mature bodies through the door now.
I think West Coast need to act now. I don't think there's too much we should be doing to push our solutions into the future, kick the can down the road. I think that if you can find value and say move 2 down, stay in the top 10 and get something else in the future, that's probably right. But I certainly wouldn't be trading both picks and, not moving too much into the future. I think there's an impetus on West Coast to try and improve now. And the draft, if obviously they're not going to come in and fix the team immediately, but it still delays that gratification by 12 months, which I don't think is right for us right now.
I'm going to roll through some of these comments. West Coast made list mistakes since 2018 flag and got rewarded for it. Quick thought on that?
Yeah, I can respond to that. I get that point of view. I actually do. But at the same time, the rule exists. And as long as the rule exists, you then have to think, okay, in what scenario does the rule need to be applied? And I think West Coast has hit that point.
Eagles need to bring some good experience in. When their best players retire in a few years, they will be exposed, if they aren't already.
Yeah. I mean, that's true of many clubs, particularly with us. Yes, absolutely. The experience, but I mean, look, we've had 3 trade requests to us, a 26-year-old, a 27-year-old, and a 23-year-old. I don't know how to have a 23? Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, I think West Coast knows that after getting Baker, Graham, and Owies last year. So.
And Brenton Sharp, is there a way to draft our NGA guys to the rookie list? If they are bid on, can you move someone from the senior list to the rookie list? And that was a dono from Brenton, so thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those donations. You can move someone. I'm not sure exactly the rules of. I think you might have to delist them and re-rookie them. Oh, maybe not.
Have you guys been? Because I don't think you can do that.
I was separating NGA from just general list players, but yes.
Because if somebody bid on them, you'd have to select them,
correct,
like a draft pick.
You can't then put them on the rookie list.
No.
Yeah, that's right. So I reckon there's a good chance none of the NGA guys get bid on. Would you agree with that? I
mean, Banfield?
No, he's father-son.
Of course he is. Yeah.
So he would be national.
Yep.
But NGA's would be Kobe Evans, Wes Wally, Tyler Williams would be the main.
Wes
3.
Wally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
the guy with the spectacles.
I think Kobe Evans is a chance, but yeah, I'd sort of agree. Like they're going to be late.
Yeah,
I don't think, and those late guys, like unless someone sees something like really strong in them, they don't tend to bother.
Yeah,
I feel.
But what you could do, so putting aside the NGA thing, what you can do is put Tom Cole or Jamie Cripps on the rookie list as well.
Yeah.
They've been given contracts. I think you might have to like formally redraft them. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it does happen.
Yeah. It would be I feel like that would be a fairly big hack of the system, being able to do that.
It does happen a lot though. Yeah, I don't have any examples to mind, but like there's been tons of players who've been delisted and re-rookied. Like your fringe players who want to get another opportunity. I think maybe Hutchings, we did that with late in his career, but it wasn't just us. So I suppose we actually didn't really comment just quickly on Starcevich, Robertson and Young. To what extent do you think West Coast are doing the right thing getting these three players? And maybe we can talk about Starcevich's concussion history as well, because this has a real like potential to blow up in West Coast face if West Coast spend big. I'm not too worried about the salary, but if West Coast traded a lot for Starcevich, let's call it pick 19, which is the first rounder, and that's not nothing. And he then has to have he is then another concussion retirement that West Coast we've had 4 recently. Do you think West Coast should really? Well, what do you think West Coast should offer? I suppose
Starcevich's best is that pick 19. That is a fair pick, but like you said, you've had Venables, Shepherd, McGovern,
and Edwards is the other one.
There you go. So like, how many times like? AFL is a game where you're going to cop a head knock from time to time, and when you have history of it, it is a risk that you're taking with Starcevich. You sort of said that you don't. Sorry to cut you off, Dylan, but you don't really care about the money that you're going to offer him because you're sort of in a bit of a weird spot at the moment. So it's like that money's got to go somewhere. Get in an experienced 2-time premiership player, but it is a big risk that you're taking. If you get his best, great. But how many more head knocks can he take before he has to retire? And that pick turns into nothing.
Other side of the coin, West Coast should be the best because of all of the concussions that they've had. They should be one of the best placed teams to actually like understand.
You got head knocks
and the risks.
Come to West Coast.
Well, you know what I mean. Like they should be able to assess it better than anybody else, given that they've had to deal with it more.
That's true.
I think West Coast. So Don Park's comments really strongly indicated when they're not willing to trade the priority pick for Starcevich. But I think part of that situation as well, Brisbane need points, so they could actually probably benefit more from a bunch of later picks for Robertson and Starcevich together than say pick 19. Like it's all the same to them.
Yeah. So how many more head knocks is there?
I don't know. We're not privy to this, and we never will be. But I think it's a live
bunch of hard
consideration.
Nuts.
Yeah.
But if
we're tough.
If I can't think of anyone else like Gus Brayshaw's another one. There must be a threshold of like how many times. I don't know how they measure it.
Oh, McGovern had like 17 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
It'd be concussions and then it would be symptoms, I imagine.
Yeah. Okay. Because like Aiden O'Driscoll didn't even get to play a game.
That's true.
One head knock.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Tyler Young might be the one I'm most excited about. Not because he's necessarily an established star, obviously, but I think a position of need, clear best 22, could come in and I think form a really underrated combo with Harry Edwards, two up and coming key backs. So I think that's really
he's
promising.
the jewel in the crown, if you want to call it that.
Absolutely.
Why is that funny?
It just sounds like a bit of a like shot at West Coast. Yeah, a jewel in the crown, if you want to call it that.
I didn't mean it like that, to be honest.
No, it just
I guess Starcevich is the most renowned player of that group, but like yeah, he's a little bit trickier. The one that seems a little bit of a, I don't know, desperation, if you want to call it that, is Deven Robertson. I don't love those sort of picks, but
we need more midfielders by quantity and quality as well. So like I kind of get it, and he seems like he's a pretty good trainer and culturally would be a good fit. I don't think it's going to really improve the team that much, but we do need midfielders. Like we had Tyler Brockman taking serious minutes this year.
Yeah, Matt McCann made a good point before. Like even if it doesn't improve your AFL side, it gives you depth in your waffle team, which is also dreadful.
100%.
What's so like let's go through your mids just quickly. Yeah. Harley Reid.
Yeah.
Elijah Hewitt.
Yeah.
Yo.
Elliot Yo.
There's some doubt that he plays midfield next year, but hopefully.
Obviously the running thing is a big deal there. Tim Kelly, that's 4.
Kelly got relegated to the forward flank for the most of this year. He came back.
He's still midfield depth, right?
He's depth, but I imagine plan A is to not play him there next year.
Sure.
Unless we have to.
You've got Tom Gross.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Clay Hall.
Yeah.
You
could probably say Jack Graham. We've got a lot of part-time midfielders.
Hamish Davis.
Graham. Pretty exclusively on the wing.
How much fucking midfield depth do you need?
I would say that Deven Robertson is clearly better than Clay Hall and Tom
Well,
Gross.
that's the question. That's the question.
I'd say he's clearly better than those two.
Okay.
And, it's a low bar. Hopefully Tom Gross comes good, but like very speculative at this point. Graham chops and changes through there, as does Tyler Brockman, but these guys aren't like proper midfield solutions, and we are also still a diabolical clearance team.
I get you, but like if you'd say like use one of the best teams in the competition as an example, like Geelong, I wouldn't say like every one of their midfielders is like only a midfielder as well. You're kind of, same, Hamish Davis is kind of a mid forward. Like they're flexible, but it doesn't mean they're not midfielders.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
But I mean, like Hewitt still only spent like 50% time on ball this year.
Yeah.
Like he's not quite ready for that full-time midfield role, which is part of it as well.
Yeah. It's just an interesting one. Like
Baker spent a fair bit of time there as well. Like these guys are better in other positions.
The list thing obviously helps because you get those spots and you can just have a bit of a look at them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd find it incredibly unlikely if Deven Robertson and Finn McRae, if they do come to West Coast, very unlikely that they end up in your team long term.
No, agreed. Yeah. So I wouldn't have been too devastated if neither of those happened, obviously. But Dev, I think I'd be lying if I said we couldn't use a player like that, to be honest.
Gross looked pretty good this year.
Yeah, I guess with Gross, I'm a little worried that about his composure. Like he's very like erratic and gets the ball, and he has some great AFL traits.
Are we talking like the moment that's standing out to me here is the chase down tackle?
But it wasn't isolated to that.
No,
it really wasn't. And he's a little bit of a get ball and hack it kind of kid.
Yeah.
So, but then again, like he can easily improve that. But still very speculative.
Sure.
So just to summarize on the Eagles and the rookie list spots, just to point on like how they'll use them. Some players that they've been linked to, like Don Pike came out and said, this rookie list thing gives us the opportunity to go for mid-range guys who are good AFL footballers but found themselves off the list. Might be too good for Waffle VFL, but not quite at that AFL standard. That's how they're going to help put pressure on spots and I suppose drive some competition, which West Coast desperately needs. And he highlighted the midfield. So to go through some names, Tom Blamires. Do you know much about Tom Blamires in the Waffle?
I've heard of
VFL,
his name,
sorry?
but I've never seen him play.
Okay, Milan Murdoch, he's from Anna. We nearly picked him in the mid-season draft. We ended up going Jacob Newton. We've been linked to Tom Berry as well, presumably for this rookie list. Deven Robertson. Robertson would probably get traded to the main list. You could then say someone like a Parfit could also fit this mold. I'm not saying four of the same types of player, but these are all names of this ilk. And then you could also look at the NGA guys. Like if they don't get bid on, they could also assume spots on this rookie list. So
Evans is pretty highly rated.
Yeah, just been injured a lot. So this is why I suspect maybe no one bids on him. But I'm quietly optimistic. Yeah. Like I think him and Banfield are two like very underrated WA players that we might be able to actually
and
benefit
I think
from
as well. Like the focus this year and the next couple of years is going to be on bidding on Gold Coast and Brisbane academy players, not West Coast.
Yeah, slipped through the cracks a little bit.
Yeah.